The fast of Ramadan had reached its halfway point, the mid-circle, where the moon hung full and heavy over the Shar Mountains. In the northern district's lighthouse, Amar watched Drayton sort through bags of local grain. "The first week is for the body to adjust," Amar murmured. "But this week, the soul must wake up." Drayton nodded, his hands calloused but steady. Together, they were building a reservoir of abundance for those who felt the winter's bite longer than others. Across the river, Zikir's workshop was no longer just for metal. He had invited Valon, a master weaver, to combine their crafts. They were constructing wayfinding banners, strips of deep indigo silk held by copper rings. "The metal gives it weight," Zikir explained, "but the silk gives it direction." Valon's fingers danced through the loom, weaving threads of silver that caught the flickering candlelight. "In the wind, these will sing the city's secret names," Valon added with a quiet smile. Hana and young Ajla were in the pharmacy of the old bazaar, surrounded by the scent of dried chamomile and lavender. They weren't just preparing food, they were preparing comfort bundles for the new mothers in the hillside neighborhoods. Selma had taught Ajla how to fold the linen wraps with precision. "Healing isn't just a tincture," Hana said, passing a bundle to Ajla. "It is the knowledge that someone, somewhere, is thinking of your quietest hour." The heat in the bakery was a physical weight, but Uncle Adam and Luann moved through it like a choreographed dance. They were experimenting with a midnight cracker, a thin, spiced bread designed to sustain the night watchman and the restless. Adam watched Luann's technique with a critic's eye that softened into pride. "When you bake for the hungry, the flour is holy," Adam whispered. Luann flipped the dough, the white dust settling on his shoulders like a blessing. In the makeshift office of the new community room, Elif and Selma pored over a topographical map of Skopje. They weren't just looking at streets, they were looking at gaps, pockets of the city where the light of the two houses hadn't quite reached. "Connectivity is an architectural challenge, but a spiritual necessity," Elif said, marking a hidden alley in the Tofane district. Selma leaned in, her finger tracing a shortcut through a forgotten courtyard. "If the path doesn't exist, we will walk it until it does." Under the ancient plane tree, Mrs. Fatima sat with Vedat, who was now helping her mend old prayer beads. The click-clack of the wooden spheres was the only sound in the afternoon stillness. "Each bead is a breath of patience, Vedat," she told him. Vedat carefully restrung a broken cord, his focus unwavering. He was learning that the city was held together by these small, repetitive acts of care, just as much as by the stone bridges and the heavy doors. In a courtyard cluttered with scrap and history, Arbin and Izette were restoring an ancient wooden cart. Its wheels were wobbly, and its axle groaned, but they worked with the intensity of clockmakers. They intended to use it to haul water and supplies to the highest reaches of the Kale Hill, where vehicles couldn't pass. "The old ways have the strongest backs," Izette grunted, tightening a bolt. Arbin wiped grease from his brow, feeling the history of the wood under his palms. As the sun began its descent, Bessem joined Drayton on the high scaffolding of the northern lighthouse. They were installing the vigil lamp, a light that would remain lit from iftar until suhoor. Bessem showed Drayton how to angle the glass so it wouldn't blind the neighbors, but would cast a soft glow on the pavement below. "A light is a promise," Bessem said, his voice carrying in the thinning air. "It says, we are awake and we are here if you need us." The midnight market was a sea of soft voices and lanterns. Amar and Hana stood at a central table, distributing the silken copper banners and the comfort bundles. The air was cool, the scent of the Vardar River rising to meet the aroma of spice and warm bread. "Do you feel it?" Hana asked, watching a neighbor from the north embrace a friend from the south. Amar nodded, his heart full. "It's not just two houses anymore. It's a pulse that beats in every street." Late into the night, as the call for the final meal echoed, Elif and Arbin sat on the steps of the new lighthouse. The city below them was a constellation of small, flickering lights, the lanterns they had built, the banners they had hung, and the candles in 1,000 windows. It's beautiful, isn't it? Arben asked, looking at the unified skyline. Elif leaned her head back, watching the stars. It's more than beautiful, Arben. It's home, and for the first time,